My beautiful veg garden got destroyed, but this video I'm going to show you how I transform it from this into the most productive kitchen garden ever. Let's get into it. And here we are, summertime. The garden has been transformed from that building site into this, an abundant garden full of veg that feeds me and my family and my friends, and is also a habitat and a safe space for nature to thrive. I can't believe the transformation. It all started in wintertime, in the cold and the mud of February. My friend Jack's Patch, master gardener and landscaper, came down to help me and the boys transform the building site into what it is today. Now he's come back 6 months later in the middle of summer to have a look round at the hard work that we did and to show you guys how we managed to do it. Jack, look at this. It's turned into paradise.
Such a massive difference. It's nice to see flowers and sunshine instead of mud and grey clouds.
I know. My boots were sodden for weeks after that. It was crazy. And actually, looking back at the footage and photos, I cannot believe the difference. Only 5 months, mate. But it's down to the hard work that we put in, you and the boys.
Yeah, definitely. It was like this was one of the first bits we done. We had to make a path through the mud.
Yeah.
And that was just doing no dig. We marked out the beds first, cardboard, wood chip, and then that just gave us the path to like work around the garden.
Yeah, and I really wanted to make sure that we had lovely, productive beds surrounding that path. And also, it draws your eye up to the greenhouse really nicely. There's not a huge amount of space here, so when I do welcome people here, I want to be able to just take them on a journey, and like each bed surrounding this pathway and in the middle is something new or something different that people can smell or taste.
Exactly that, yeah. So you want to make it an experience with the colours, with the smells. Yeah, I like that.
I like not having that uniformity here. This is not going to be a place where I'm going to be thinking of growing a load of food. It's more just the journey through the pathway and having some unique stuff and colour. 4 years ago, my life completely changed. At the time, I was living in the city and I felt quite lost and a sense of dependence on the systems all around me. I really wanted to become a little more self-sufficient. So one day I packed up my things and I moved to the country to start homesteading. I hadn't grown anything in my life at that point. But 4 years on, I'm now growing most of the food that I eat. I make ferments and preserve the food to see me through the winter months. And also, I make my own homegrown, homemade herbal remedies to make me feel good. This is giving me the most amazing sense of purpose and excitement for the future, sense of resilience and security. But I want to meet like-minded people that are also into this stuff. So I decided to go on a huge tour. I'm taking the tales of my homestead to a theatre near you very soon. So please think about getting a ticket by clicking the link beneath this video to share the most amazing evening together. If I'm not coming to your town, then comment your location beneath this video and we will hopefully add it to the list, but I can't promise anything. See you soon, guys. Oh, look at that curve, natural curve. I love them curvy, you know? When you've got that beautiful curve, when it goes from slim to thick, just fills my mind with just joy and just enlightens and enlivens all my senses when they got those curves in proportion. Sensational. Now obviously these beds are in their first year, but very productive. We just harvested a load of onions from this bed yesterday. You've got courgettes, and look at these lovely lilies. I think that what we discussed when we were doing it is that I really wanted it to be a haven for nature, as well as bringing in bugs in with the wood chip path and creatures and stuff like that. But the flowers, like these lilies, I planted the bulbs in the ground, they look great.
Yeah, and it's like that elemental look. So you've got the ornamental of the flowers, food as well. And it's the design, like it's taking you on a journey, as you said, through. We've got beds either side.
Yeah, like
something you have to walk around as well.
Yeah, we said this, walking around this is beautiful, and they've got all these lovely flowers, and I like stopping here because there's various different lovely herbs to smell and to taste. So if you're walking up the path with me, very romantically, you go around this bed. I'm like, oh, Jack, try this. It's an aphrodisiac.
Oh, thank you, I needed this.
Oh, we're gonna reenact this when it's actually beautiful. Like the lemon verbena and this
it's my favourite.
black mint is sensational, and thyme and chives, and the flowers just popping up. I actually can't remember what a lot of these flowers are, just planted them in, but it's nice to realise that these beds look naturally here because of the way we set out that pathway.
Definitely, with the design, I think we just made the pathway, the journey through the garden, like the prominent feature.
Yeah.
And then the beds are either side. So instead of having square beds, again, that was your idea as well. So what do you really want? And it's like these teardrop beds either side, and they've just tucked in nicely.
It is. And then it is up on this hill. Being on a hill often is quite difficult growing food, but you've got to use it to your advantage. Like this is angled towards the sun.
Definitely.
So in theory, it should be really productive in terms of growing space. But it was just a lot of hard work actually building these terraces in. I did have these small terrace beds initially, but then you brought along this instrument and you've made these terraces with us, these swales, to sort of shape to the contour of the land, which was cool.
Exactly that, and it's just using like the land always, we have to find the level. We marked out these swales, but at each point we had to find the level using the A-frame. So A-frame with a level, really simple tool. And as we went along, we found that level, which is on your contour. And then we just started the beds. We flipped the soil onto the contour and then made a mound.
It's amazing seeing this come together, and I'm already looking forward to future Gaz as we guide you round the revamped garden, how green and luscious this is going to look once everything is growing and planted in it. And this will be something that is a fixture of the land for God knows how long. The next people that live in this house, hopefully they're into growing food as well, and they can utilize these swales because they're built to last. What do you call this compost, Jack?
Green waste.
It's green waste, so it's actually the local area's council's waste that they've turned and processed into a growing medium, but it's not like the finest of the fine stuff, and this stuff is quite chunky, so it's going to break down over time. So what we're going to do is actually put a final layer of real good stuff on top. Jack mentioned this unusual ingredient, volcanic ash dust. It sounds way out there, but we're actually going to sprinkle some of that into this mix along with some wood ash from my log burner inside the house. Seeing that homemade compost is just making me really enthusiastic this year to build another compost bay, because I need to maximize the amount I make. It's so rich. You can't beat homemade compost. It doesn't matter where you get compost from, nothing is better than homemade stuff. So I'll probably be asking neighbors, friends, family for their food scraps, and I'll pile it up. I'll get dried leaves, anything, any garden materials, stack it up in a box. We made some out of pallets a couple of years ago, and that has just produced the most lush growing material for me to grow the most amazing food in it. So my old food has made compost to grow my new food. It's a circle of life, baby. And since you were here, I've planted in a load of my squash, and they've come to life. They've really taken over. Maybe it is that sun. They're able to soak it up beautifully here, and things like my beans are doing well. For a first year of beds, they're doing pretty well.
They are, especially the squash, because it's something that can like trail down the hill as well, because this is like a bit of dead space at the minute. So they're trailing down. But what I like, as you said, is like using the hill, use against the hill for a long time, and then now we've like got it in a practical use. Yeah,
and I like the fact that these sort of mounds, they catch the water, the rainwater, so you don't have to water these as much, I feel. And actually you've inspired me maybe in winter next year is to continue this up a bit more. Obviously then I'll have way more growing space. So it's an option for people on a hill doing this sort of terrace look. And we've already discussed maybe putting a border of willow or some kind of fencing just to cap off these mounds.
Like almost like a retaining wall, a little bit, so we can actually put a little bit more compost on and it looks nice as well. It's like English country garden look.
So stay tuned for us doing that next year. I think what I really want to show people is the pond. I've always wanted a pond, but I just thought maybe on a hill it'd be quite difficult. You came up with a great idea of using a whiskey barrel as a means of creating a little wildlife habitat that doesn't take up too much room, but also has all the benefits of attracting, you know, the wildlife. And it's just down here. It looks great now.
Yeah, love it. Build it and they'll come.
Ah, look at this.
Yeah, this is my favourite.
I'm often seeing birds flying in and drinking it.
That's it.
That makes me happy. The fact that you brought these little logs along as well with the moss on was just a touch of genius, because it is a little wildlife paradise, and it's great for people with not a huge amount of space but they want to attract the wildlife.
I think that's it. It's if you don't have much space, it's the body of water, and like just having that body of water, you're attracting dragonflies, having stones up to the top like bees, butterflies, they can drink from there, and then as you said about the birds coming in, so you kind of like, it's not just you benefiting from it, it's the wildlife.
Yeah, definitely. And it was really simple to create this. We just got a whiskey barrel from our friends, the Whiskey Barrel Brothers, and you just cut that in half, sunk it into the ground. You dug a trench first, right?
Yep.
Filled it with water, decorated the outside, and that was basically
Voila.
it, really.
Yeah, simple.
I'm going to get a oxygenating pump for it soon, I think, and I think that will transform it even more.
Definitely, yeah, clear the water a little bit, but yeah, the pond plants as well, they're making it look like more beautiful. Having like lilies on stop evaporation because the lily pads are on top as they grow. I even saw some bees on there earlier, so like pulling in some more wildlife. And then yeah, just the surrounding of it as well. We've gone for like quite a lot of pollinators.
Yeah, got the echinacea there and nasturtium, lavender. It's like a real haven for wildlife.
Definitely, it's even like just doing simple things like this where we're just stacking logs. It's good for like ladybirds. A lot of animals can hide in there.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then yeah, like serrated leaves like ferns, like making it more woodland. But yeah, all the plants like this, echinacea, yarrow, lavender, we are attracting them.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be a little like haven for them.
Yeah, definitely. So this was a big thing that we got in. This fence, this is a right bargain. We picked this wood up, was it £25?
Yeah,
something like
it's
that.
hard to really show people what a bargain this was because of how much we got for that price.
But I said I wanted some kind of border this is the kitchen dining area of my garden, and I just wanted a border to sort of make you feel like you're surrounded and you're comfortable and you're cozy. And initially I did want things growing up it, and I planted a load of sunflowers here, believe it or not, Jack, but they got decimated by slugs for some reason. But I think in a couple of years' time, all of these plants like the lavender and the bay leaf and the rosemary will grow up it, which will be nice. Something like this fence is quite inexpensive, really, isn't it? It's got that rustic, waney edge look, it's natural.
And also as well, the different heights, it doesn't have to be linear as well. But yeah, 25 quid for offcuts was like an absolute steal.
And what I like about these random lengths and sizes, for when I was putting it together, I'm not much of a DIYer, but when I was putting this up, I didn't have to worry about getting straight lines and stuff.
True.
It was just like bish, bash, bosh, stick them up. And yeah, it was really quick to put together. This may be something that you want to replicate. Feel free. Actually saw Hugh Richards' Master Gardener also has something like this, so I think it does look good. I think with stuff growing up it will look even better, so that may be something for future years. But it does give you that nice sort of comforting feeling of being surrounded by a border of sorts in this space. So this is something that I think is going to improve year on year, but it was a lovely little task to get completed. And I think in the cold in February.
And it was wet as well. Like we was digging holes, and it was muddy here. But what I like about this space is the framing of the bean arch. And you just said you wanted separation, and then that becomes a portal to the garden.
Definitely, definitely. And just looking at it here through that archway, the archway really mirrors this sort of shape of the greenhouse.
Frames it like proper.
And you see so many colours of flowers. I'm really happy. I appreciate all your hard work so much, and the boys Tom and Rue, and my dad who was cooking for us.
Yeah, it's good.
You know, we grafted, really grafted. I think that's the one thing about growing food and being out in the garden. The hard work, you get the rewards. You know, it's not like you have to wait a million years to get the rewards. You get them when you're harvesting and you're thinking back to those times, and now just enjoying it and seeing the butterflies. It's a beautiful thing. It's
a patient game.
It is a patient game. But it's worth it looking at it now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Now you're reaping the rewards of it.
Yeah. I can't thank you enough, and it's nice to have you back. And you said you got a little gift for me as well.
Yeah, let's go.
Before we get up to the top, remember the compost heap?
Yeah, let's not forget the compost heap. Big up, Tom.
Well, actually, if you remember, that is my old fence. It was the old picket fence that I built into a square, and then the offcuts are from the cladding from my house that Tom screwed on, which was quite difficult to get it that level because the fence was all like all like this. But it just goes to show you can pretty much make a compost heap out of anything.
It's nice to mirror as well, like having another part of the garden, like the house, be mirrored in the garden as well.
Definitely, and this is a really handy one because my other compost bays are right at the top, but this is great for any just garden scraps. I don't put any food scraps on here, but just any leaves, bits of plant, soil, anything goes on top of there. And it was so warm recently, I think that's going to create some real great compost. And it's nice to have everything in a close vicinity.
That's it.
But I love the look of that compost heap.
It's cool, isn't it?
It's probably the neatest compost heap in the world, I think.
So I got you this lovely plant. You wanted something that went up the greenhouse, and there you go.
That is beautiful. Is that?
I smell it.
It's like jasmine.
Yeah. Again, this is going to grow up and over. I think it will cover that front bit, but then it adds like another sensory experience as you walk into the greenhouse.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. Will that just keep coming back each year?
Yeah, so it's just going to continuously grow and it's evergreen in leaves, so it will stay green through the winter.
That is beautiful.
And then it produces this like abundant flower. Again, just like, I'll smell it on the way up.
Yeah.
And a bit of wind blows.
I did too. That's beautiful. And what I really like about having the garden is this, when I have people over, guys, it's like, it's your inner child comes out because I'm showing people this herb, taste this, smell that. And it's like, it's fun. It's like being on Willy Wonka's chocolate factory tour. It's great. And this is just
plant-based version.
Yeah, this just literally adds another element. So thank you so much. I love the fact that it's going to climb. This polytunnel's needed something to sort of meld it or mold it into the ground a little bit. So that will help real
covers
nice.
The front, and eventually like stuff can like drag down. I kind of like that. It just makes it more of a jungle, more of an experience.
Definitely. And whilst we're here, it's worth mentioning these lovely little steps you created. That was a hard work for you. They're really
still
nice.
In the ground. They're still they've not fell over yet, but yeah, they're in nice and deep, and it's just like upcycling some tree stumps which you can get from tree surgeons, and then just because we needed, instead of just going straight up this hill, it needed to be broken up, and like you need to step down, make it more comfortable.
Definitely.
And these done the job.
Yeah, what I like about Jack's work is not necessarily, I hope you don't mind me saying, like prim and proper and like, you know,
straight
posh
lines.
gardening. It's not posh gardening. It's like, it's nature gardening, but each thing has a purpose. So not only is this a nice step, but this is like natural. It's not, and it's gonna be pleasant to the environment. It's not like a big piece of concrete step like maybe you'd see in like a futuristic garden. So that's what I like about your work. And if you want Jack to come and help you with your garden, I'll pop his details beneath the video and he'll come and help you out. And as I said, I like working with him so much, I may come along too. If I'm not working that hard. I'll just drink tea all day.
Yeah, you'll be on tea break.
Oh, Jack, since you've been gone and over the last few weeks and months, I've been harvesting some of the best produce I've ever grown. I think it's thanks to just the harmony that this garden now has, thanks to, you know, these nature-filled beds with the flowers and the wood chip paths. There was a few tough weeks, I think, just because of the weather, but in general, like, nature's loving this space now more than ever before, which is great. Like, I've been harvesting giant tomatoes, cucumbers, the most amazing onion harvest I've ever had in my life. And I don't think this is going to be the last time we work together.
No.
What do you think about making a massive pond sometime soon?
Yeah, mate, let's do it.
All right. Yeah! Gardeners unite. Oh, and Jack, don't forget to take home your iguana with you.
Huh? Come on in, let's go back to Essex.
Guys, I'm so happy to share with you my new book, Or actually, this is actually a revamped version of my old Christmas book that came out many years ago. I wanted to modernize it, and look at this beautiful green and the gold, it's matching my new kitchen. But more importantly, inside there's a whole heap of new recipes, new photos, and it's perfect not just for Christmas, but actually for Thanksgiving and any special festive occasion. You'll find some incredible new recipes in here, from preservation to indulgent desserts and incredible party food and edible gifts too. I'm very proud of this, and I'm so happy to remake it and offer something else to the world that's going to hopefully help you during the amazing festive Christmas times and so many other holidays and parties. So here it is, Plants Only Holidays, out now. Please support it, really helps the channel. Just click the link beneath this video to get your hands on a signed copy that my mum sends out all around the world. If you don't want to get it from my website, you can also get it from any good bookstore or on Amazon. Guys, it's so windy and raining now. My hat's been blowing off. It's miserable, but actually, something that I'm enjoying is I'm just enjoying being outside. Doesn't matter about the weather.
Yes, I think sometimes these elements like just remind you, you got to get in the rough with the smooth.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be nice in the summer, picking vegetables, but now this is like the hard work time, infrastructure, winter.
I always usually, when I look out the window and see weather like this, I think, oh, I could be back in Jamaica now and be sunny, and I wouldn't think of coming outdoors. But actually being out here now, I feel great. I'm not cold. It's nice. It's being nice in the elements, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and we're building. I think winter is a time of like building.
Yeah.
You get that done, and then you're like, oh, remember when it was freezing cold out here and you can't even imagine wearing shorts right now.
Well, I can't imagine really how beautiful it's gonna look. I know it's gonna get there, but this is, you have to just put the investment in now.
Yeah, that's it.
Especially walking this wheelbarrow up this slippery hill. Let's see how many times I slip now. Okay, let's go. Oh, yes, I did it, I did it. Oh, maybe not.